that.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead is thus enjoying in his transcendental eternal form. It is not astounding that one dares to call the Supreme Lord non-energetic. The Lord is a controller of all energies, and the living entities are parts and parcels of one of the energies. Therefore, there is a gulf difference between the Lord and the living entities. How then can one say that the Lord and the living entities are one and the same? In the Bhagavad Gita, also the living entities are described as belonging to the superior energy of the Lord, according to the principles of uh, intimate correlation between the energy and energetic. Both of them are non-different also. Therefore, the Lord and living entities are non-different as the energy and the energetic.
Bolo.
So here in this paragraph, somebody dares to say that the energy and energetic are different. But we say there is, although there is a difference in the living entities, non-living entities, but at the same time they are simultaneously oneness and difference also. These things generally they don't understand. Yes, Prabhu.
Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego are all inferior energies of the Lord. But the living entities are different from all as superior energy. This is the version of Bhagavad Gita 4 7.4 7.5. Bhumi rapo nalo vayu kham mano buddhi revacha ahankara iti yam me binna prakriti ashtata apareyam tastvanyam prakriti vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahabhavo yayetam dharite jagat. Right, the Krishna has a material inferior energies that has been bifurcated as 8 in Bhagavad Gita, and the superior to the material energies are the marginal energies which presides over the inferior energy, that is the living entities.
Yes, Prabhu.
Living entities are the marginal energy of the Lord.
Next. The transcendental form of the Lord is eternally existent and full of transcendental bliss. How then can such a form be a product of the material mode of goodness? Anyone, therefore, who does not believe in the form of the Lord is certainly a faithless demon, and as such is untouchable and not to be seen persona non grata fit to be punished by the Plutonic king. What is this? What is this project? Plutonic and granta fit?
You know,
I don't know. First time I'm seeing this.
okay. Those who don't accept the form of the Lord, they are to be punished by Yamraj.
This called Plutonic king, huh? Yamaraj?
I have no idea of Plutonic king.
Okay. Yeah, you can also scroll the screen. You can scroll, see.
In mobile, it is difficult.
No, you can just scroll it like this. It will move.
I'm doing not nahi ho raha hai.
Okay.
The Buddhists are atheists because they have no respect for Vedas.
Yes.
But those who defy the Vedic conclusion as above mentioned under the precedence of being followers of the Vedas are very dangerous than Buddhists. So this Shankaracharya is called covered Buddhism, right?
Yeah.
There are in our Vedic philosophy there are called Saddarshan, 6 systems of Vedic philosophers, and there are others who don't accept the Vedas are called Nastikas. They are Buddhist, Jain, Ajivikas, and Charvakas. They don't accept the Vedic principles. Those who accept the Vedic principle, they have the concept of a supreme Lord, a supreme entity above matter. Okay, but when you negate matter, still the supreme Lord as a Brahman or as a person, Krishna, Vishnu, Narayana will exist. But these Buddhist and Jain, they, when you negate matter, nothing for them will exist other than matter is illusion. Then what exists is nothing other than that. Then that is their philosophy.
Mm. Sri Vyasadeva very kindly compiled the Vedic knowledge in his Vedanta Sutra, but if one hears the commentation of the Mayavadi school as represented by Shankara Sampradaya, certainly he will be misled on the path of spiritual realization. We have to,
Mayavadi.
we have to strictly follow the Veda Vyasa commentary only, not other any other thing, whose other commentaries. Yes, Prabhu.
The theory of emanation is the beginning subject of Vedanta Sutra. All the cosmic manifestations are emanation from the absolute personality of Godhead by his inconceivable energies. The example of the touchstone is applicable to the theory of emanation. The touchstone can convert an unlimited quantity of iron into gold, but and still the touchstone remain as it is. Similarly, the Supreme Lord can produce all manifested worlds by his unconceivable energy, yet he is full and unchanged. He is Purna, and although an unlimited number of Purna emanate from him, he is still Purna. So, Purnat Purna Mudachyate. From complete comes complete whole. So, from Krishna comes smaller parts, right? But Krishna is always complete in itself. Right? So this is the theory of emanation. Krishna has various features and aspects. The Supreme Lord has varieties of energies, varieties of aspects, and these aspects they are manifested of time and again. But these manifestation parts of Krishna are not equal to Krishna. This is one of the arguments Vaishnava explanation against the Sankara. Boli.
The theory of illusion of Mayavadi school is advocated on the ground that the theory of emanation will cause the transformation of the absolute truth. If that is the case, Vyasadeva is wrong. To avoid this, they have skillfully brought in the theory of illusory that but the world or the cosmic creation is not false as maintained by the Mayavada school. It is simply has no permanent existence. A non-permanent thing cannot be called false altogether. But the conception that the material body is a self is certainly a wrong. So here different ways of understanding by Mayavadi schools and Vaishnavas. So they go against the Vyasadeva, the original writer of Vedas. They say it is, we understand this is temporary, but they say this all in all is false. That cannot be accepted because if something is, it is like temporary, but it is real only. How can we say that this is just because it's temporary? Cannot say it's false. Yes, Prabhu.
As for a certain period of time, you are getting an experience of a entity in the material world. So that experience of the entity is a part of Krishna. Whatever chair, table, person, wife, husband, these are all part of Krishna. And there are a world, spiritual world, where there is no temporary or permanent existence wala world bhi hai. There is one world where these things are existing permanently. Only in the material world, the features of the Lord are experienced temporarily.
Yes. Please read.
Pranava Om or the Omkar in the Vedas is the primeval hymn. This transcendental sound is identical with the form of the Lord. All Vedic hymns are based on the Pranava Omkar. Tattvam Asi is but a side word in the Vedic literature, and therefore word cannot be the primeval hymn of the Veda. Sripad Sankaracharya has given more stress on the side with Tattvam Asi and the primeval principle Omkar. So there are many Brahma Vakya. There are many 5, 7 important Vakyas that has been uh, commented by Sripad Sankaracharya to to show that there is a equanimity between the whole and the part. The philosophy of Sankaracharya is that whole and part is equal, and the difference is due to illusion. But Vaishnava philosophy is that the whole and part is equal in terms of relation. That there is a relation between mother and the son. The mother is an Indian and the son is an Indian. And mother is of the same family. But that does not mean that 100% mother is equal to son. Mother can give child to, mother can give birth to a child, but son cannot give a birth to a child because he's a male and mother is a female. There is no 100% equal. So those who want equality, that is against the Vedic principle. Vedic principle have focused on distinct identity. All right. So this Sankaracharya wants to do equanimity. This women rights nowadays they are going on. This is against the Vedic principle because women have their own quality and male have their own quality and they cannot be equal. Like it is not like 5 kilo of mango and 5 kilo of apple. So this Sankaracharya wants to equate 5 kilo of apple is equal to 5 kilo of mango. So they want to reduce the uh, variety features. They want to make everything homogeneous. This is the one of the great mistake. And the Omkar, our Jiva Goswami and other acharyas have explained as a form of Radha and Krishna, Lakshmi Narayan, and not as an impersonal representation.
Hmm. But in Bhagavad Gita, they said Omkara. Krishna says, I am that Omkara.
Pranava Sarva Vedeshu, Sabdake Paurusha Nishu.
Then what is that meaning?
In the 11th chapter of the Krishna says in the I'm Om. So the Omkar is representing Krishna only. The Omkar is the all pervading feature of the Lord. The feature of the Lord that is all pervading, that is Omkar. So Omkar is representing Krishna's all pervading features. But when you go deep into the Omkar, then many of the great grammarians have explained how from the Rama Nam, many grammarians can explain how the Ram Nam Omkar has emanated from the Krishna Nam Omkar has come. So basically this Ram Nam and Krishna Nam is or Omkar Nam is representing the feature of the personal feature of the Lord, not only the impersonal feature of the Lord, but also the personal feature of the Lord.
Yeah. Okay, next. The Lord thus spoke on the Vedanta Sutra and defied all the propaganda of the Mayavada school. The Bhattacharya tried to defend himself and his Mayavada school by jugglery of logic and grammar, but the Lord defeated him by his forceful arguments. He affirmed that we are all related with the personality of God eternally and that devotional services are eternal function in exchanging the dealings of our relations. The result of such exchange is to be attained prema, the love of Godhead. When love of Godhead is attained, love for all other beings automatically follows because the Lord is the sum total of all living beings. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very expert in the dealing with the Bhattacharya. He uses many logic and jugglery words to prove that his Mayavada school and his philosophy is correct. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu related everything connection with God, and he brought to the point of the topmost thing is the prema, the love of Godhead. So then, love of Godhead will all living entities also accepted.
There is a relation between part and the whole. The
Yeah.
part will exist only in relation to the whole, and the function of the part is to serve the whole.
Yes, bro.
There is an eternal relation between the part and the whole. So all the features of Krishna, all the energies of Krishna, all the aspects of Krishna has an eternal relation with Krishna. So there cannot be at any point of time that this relationship breaks. So Mayavadi is trying to break the relationship because they want to become equal to Krishna or equal to Brahman. But when you have relationship, then one person will be superior another person. In relationship, you want to serve the other person. You want to become the subservient of your lover. Krishna also becomes servant of his devotees, right? And devotees become servant of Krishna. There is a tendency of serving your serving your whole. There's serving the other person in relationship. So they want to avoid this tendency of but this in Vedanta Sutra it is said that Anandamai Abhilasat, the general tendency of Jiva is to attain happiness by serving the other person, that is Krishna, the Supreme. The other person has to be have a feature, and you have to have a feature to serve. And you need your matlab, feature like hands and legs, and there cannot be impersonalism because when there is a relationship, when there is a dealing, and there is a feeling of enjoyment, then there cannot be impersonalism. That is the
Next.
the Lord said that, but from these three items, namely the eternal relation with God, exchange of dealing with Him, and attainment of love for Him, all this is instructed in the Vedas, is superfluous and concocted. All that is instructed in the Veda is superfluous and concocted. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ji says that there are many meanings to the verses of Vedas. Each word can have different meanings. Right?
यहाँ से बिना पूछताछ
Yes,
और
yes.
सैनिटाइजेशन किसी को आगे नहीं जाने दिया जाता.
Okay. There is a eternal relation with God and eternal dealing with the God, and these things are also mentioned in the Vedas. But these people have not focused on that. They are only focusing on the features where the Lord is all pervading and is not dealing. That is a wrong concept. The Lord is eternally present with all his energies, even in the material world, every aspect of the material world. When you consider mind, then mind is a form of Lord Aniruddha. And if you consider intelligence is the form of Lord Pradyumna, and false ego is the form of the Lord Sankarshana. So there cannot be any point of material world where there is no eternal relation with Krishna. So these people have given concocted.
Inspirational story.
The Lord further added that Mayavada philosophy taught by Sripada Shankaracharya is an imaginary explanation of the Vedas, but it has to be taught by him, Shankaracharya, because he was ordered to teach by the personality of Godhead. In the Padma Purana, it is stated that the personality of Godhead ordered his lordship, Shiva, to deviate the human race from him, the personality Godhead. The personality of Godhead was to be so covered so that people would be encouraged to generate more and more population. His Lordship Shiva said to Devi in the Kali Yuga, I shall preach the Mayavada philosophy, which is nothing but the clouded Buddhism in the grab of Brahmana. So we find also in Padma Purana reference whenever what this basis of Mayavada Siddhant and why this came. Although this Lord Shiva is the Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu, on the order of Lord Vishnu or Krishna, the personality of Godhead, he came to this in the form of Brahmana as a Sankaracharya, and he propagated this Mayavadi philosophy, which is nothing but a clouded form of Buddhism. So these are plans of God. Yes, next.
After hearing these speeches of the Lord, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Bhattacharya was struck with wonder and awe and regarded him in that silence. The Lord then encouraged him with assurance that there was no cause to wonder. I say that devotional service unto the personality of Godhead is the highest goal of life. Yes, Prema Pumarto Mahan. Right? He then quoted a shlok from Bhagavatam 1:7-10 and assured him that even the liberated soul who are absorbed in the spirit and spiritual realization also take to the devotional service of the Lord, because the personality of the Godhead has such transcendental qualities that he attracts the heart of the liberated souls too. Can you open this verse? Click on this. आत्मा रामस्य मुनयो निर्ग्रन्थ अपि उरुक्रमे कुर्वन्त्य अहितु किं भक्तिं हितं भूत्वा गुणो हरि. Translation. All the varieties of Atma Ram, especially those who are established on the path of self-realization, through though freed from all kind of material bondage, desire to render unalloyed devotional service unto the Supreme Lord. This means that the Lord possesses transcendental qualities and therefore can attract everyone, including the liberated soul. So Lord has such qualities that he is attracting even the persons who are liberated from the three modes. So even when you are freed from the three modes of material energies, then still you are not satisfied. Only you can be satisfied ya atma suprasidati, by when you are completely in a service relationship, devotional service. Prabhupada says na bhakti, devotional service relationship with Krishna. Then only you can be satisfied. Even when you are free from the material levels, you are not satisfied. You want to continue?
आज दुपारी होणाऱ्या मंत्रिमंडळ बैठकीपूर्वी राष्ट्रवादीच्या नेत्यांचीही चर्चा झाली आहे. शरद पवारांनी
Then Bhattacharya desired to listen explanations of Atmarama Sloka from Bhagavatam 1:7-10. The Lord first of all asked Bhattacharya to explain it. And after that, he would explain it. Bhattacharya explained the sloka in scholarly way with special reference to logic. He explained the sloka in 9 different ways, chiefly based on the logic, because he was the most renowned scholar of logic of the time. So he was very scholarly, and you already mentioned one Sanskrit word has many meanings. So according to that logic and his scholarship, he able to explain the sloka in different ways of that 9 ways, and that 9 ways are in Mayavadi.
The Lord, after hearing the Bhattacharya, thanked him for the scholarly presentation of the shloka, and then at the request of the Bhattacharya, the Lord explained the shloka in 64 different ways without touching the 9 expressions given by the Bhattacharya. So Sankaracharya says in the song Bhaja Govindam, Nahi nahi rakshati dukrin karane. There is one pratyaya called dukrin in Sanskrit amongst all the 32 pratyas, and kri karane means to do. So from the dukrin pratyaya you remove do and kri na from the end, and then you kri will be remaining, and it is so much hard work to learn all the 14,000 sutras of Panini, and to just to understand that dukrin means to do. So and then all this scholarship doesn't conclude your eternal relation with the Supreme Lord. It is just like a waste of time in this short age of Kali Yuga. By the mercy of Prabhupada, we have got English translation, so we did not much get into scholarship to waste time.
So how the competition is, see, he told in 9 different ways, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained in how many ways?
64 ways Mahaprabhu explained.
And not touching the 9th one. Amazing. So this is the potency of the Sanskrit language, where we can have different many meanings and many understandings to bring out the essence. So that's why we need the parampara and acharya.
One of the name of the Lord is Sarvagya. He knows everything.
Yeah.
Bhattacharya is the incarnation of Brihaspati. Brihaspati is not all omniscient, right? Omniscient.
Yeah.
Brihaspati is not omniscient, so nobody can beat Lord. If you want to go into the Aishwarya form of the Lord, if you will never be able to suppress, you will never able to supersede the Lord. But if you get into loving relationship with the Lord, then Lord is ready to become your servant. Like in the Mahabharata war, he became a servant of Arjuna, or he becomes a servant of his friends. In the Vrindavan Leela. But when you want to challenge the Lord and become scholarship, then you can never get any. The Lord is having all qualities in full potency, in full quantity, right? So you cannot overcome him.
Next, thus after hearing the explanations of the Atmarama Sloka from the Lord, the Bhattacharya was convinced that such a scholarly presentation is impossible for an earthly creature. Before this, Sri Gopinath Acharya had tried to convince him of the divinity of the Lord, but at the time he could not so accept him. But the Bhattacharya was astonished by the Lord's exposition of the Vedanta Sutra and explanations of the Atmarama Sloka. And thus he began to think that he had committed a great offense at the lotus feet of the Lord by not recognizing him to be Krishna himself. He then surrendered unto him, repenting for his past dealings with him, and the Lord was kind enough to accept the Bhattacharya. Out of his causeless mercy, the Lord manifested before him first as four-handed Narayana, then began to show his two-handed Lord Krishna with a flute in his hand. So finally, when we surrender, then Krishna will reveal. So this is what happened with the Bhattacharya, that he was after hearing the explanations, and although he heard from our Gopinath Acharya, but he's not kept the faith and he was not accepted. Now he has accepted, surrendered, then the Lord is revealed kindly and he showed the four-handed form Narayana and then Krishna form.
Earlier, the Aishwarya feature of the Lord was dominating, right? There is in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the rasa, one mellow will dominate over other mellow. So first the Aishwarya feature was manifesting. So he was not being able to be satisfied. If you go challenge the Aishwarya of the Lord, will not be satisfied. But now when he surrendered, then the Karunya, the compassion of the Lord came, and the Aishwarya feature of the Lord subside. Then he, by the mercy of the Karuna feature of the Lord, he could see the Narayana and the Krishna form.
Yes.
So if you should never try to challenge the Aishwarya of the Lord, because you will never have any point of time more Aishwarya than the Lord.
Yes. Please read Prabhu next.
The Bhattacharya at once fell down at the lotus feet of the Lord and composed many suitable slokas in praises of the Lord in his grace. He composed 100 slokas in praise of the Lord. Then the Lord embraced him out of his transcendental ecstasy. The Lord Bhattacharya lost consciousness of his physical state of life, tears, trembling, throbbing of the heart, perspiration, emotional waves, dancing, singing, crying, and all the 8 symptoms of trance were manifested in the body of the Bhattacharya. Sri Gopinath Acharya became very glad and astonished by the marvelous conversion of his brother-in-law by the grace of the Lord. There is Chaitanya Sahasra Ashtottara Shatanama Bali we chant. Okay, I know one of the verse, 12 names of Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji written by Sarva Bhattacharya. He has written 1000 names, 100 names, and 12 names. So I can recite the 12 names of Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji written by Srila Sarva Bhattacharya. Chaitanya Krishna Chaitanya Gauranga Dvijanayaka Yatinam Dandinam Chaiva Nyashinam Ja Shiromanim Raktambaradhara Shriman Navadvipa Sudakara Prema Bhakti Pradaschaiva Sri Sachinandanastatha. He has written the 12 names of Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji. The vice when
Yeah, you can tell.
when in the
You can tell the 12 names.
huh?
One more time, you can tell the 12 names.
Chaitanya Krishna Chaitanya Gaurango Dvijanayaka Yatinam Dandinam Chaiva Nyashi. Yati means beggar. Dandinam means sannyasi. And Nyashi means also a renounced person. These 3 means the same thing. So amongst all the categories of renounced person, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the topmost. Nyashinam cha Shiromanim. Raktambara Dara Shriman is a golden, reddish golden complexion, right? Raktambara Dara Shriman is a lord of Shri, right? All wealth, opulence. Raktambara Dara Shriman Navadvipa Sudakara. He is the moon. He is the mellow. He is the nectar of Navadvipa. Sudhakara Prema Bhakti Padaschaiva, one who is the giver of the Prema Bhakti, Sri Sachinandana Satha. So he is like that Sachinandana, who Chaitanya Krishna Chaitanya Gauranga Dujanayaka. He is topmost Brahmana, he is Gauranga, he is Chaitanya, one who maintains, he is a universal consciousness, right? So Prabhupada explained in Chaitanya. Right? So he is the Lord and maintainer, and still this mood is that still he being the Supreme Lord, still he has become now a sannyasi, sir, to deliver the fallen jiva.
Amazing. I have got the printout of that.
Okay, Jai Ho.
12 names.
All glory to Krishna.
Okay, Prajit. Now we'll end
Hare
here.
Krishna.
We'll end here. Now it is 2 o'clock. I'll be going to the next meeting.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की क्या टाइम हो गया 2 बज गए